Thank you so much for being here. I know it has been a long day. Tell me, being the Grand Marshal, what does that mean to you?
It meant, more than I've been able to really verbalize and process. I think the representation really came to me today, seeing the young faces of the young folks of color out there. To be a part of history is incredible. I keep saying, I'm a young girl from Omaha, Nebraska. So to be in this space is really powerful.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, all of our guests who've come on today have wanted to talk about LGBTQ rights. They've also really wanted to talk about Roe. You said the same to me when I asked what you wanted to make sure we touched on. For the trans community, what ways in which they specifically vulnerable in a post-Roe world?
Well, I think when we're talking about access to contraception, when we're talking about access to abortions, we're having discussions on a binary spectrum, and there's all sorts of bodies who get pregnant, all sorts of bodies who need access to that level of care, and I think that is frightening for us to know that when the services were provided, folks were already on the edges of support, and now it's going to be pushed further back. And I think outside of that, places like Planned Parenthood and many clinics offer trans-affirming care, hormones, and other services. And so when these clinics are shut down, especially in cities where they're the only place offering those services, I'm really concerned about what happens to our people.
Right, especially because there is a chilling effect. There's confusion across the board legally about what all of this means. It also intersects with another big piece of your work, which is the way in which so many members of your community become criminalized early in their journey.
Absolutely. I've tried to do my best to listen to the talking points of individuals who are supportive of this being overturned. And I come from a state, Nebraska, that is pro-life, but the budget isn't pro-life. The support services for food stamps and housing support is not pro-life. The number of young people, Black and brown young people who are in foster care and group homes, and the way those kids are treated at 18 and 19 is not pro-life. And so for us to remove the autonomy of people who can introspectively say, this is not the right time for me, this is not something I'm prepared for, and all the other reasons someone can make that choice to say, well, children deserve to be here, we'll figure it out later. We've had centuries to figure it out, and we are still seeing young people go from the juvenile system to the adult system, and I'm one of those young people. I happen to get an opportunity to get access to education and support, but there's so many folks like me who are in these facilities and never coming out, and they started in a group home or foster care. So we are really going to see the mass incarceration numbers rise due to this being overturned, and we can't lose that.
You know, earlier I had Chase Strangio on from the ACLU, and Chase was talking about how asking sort of what's next is the wrong question, because there's so much already that is happening in this moment and communities that need to be girded against their realities. I mean, specifically for the trans community, what is the support that they need in this moment?
They need the support to know that they have safe spaces. I think that just that piece of knowing that people care is really important. Outside of that, there are people like Chase and other folks who are already doing the work. Listen to them, follow them, and don't feed into the fear mongering. Don't feed into the emails that are just asking for a few dollars. Think about the folks who have been making plans for a decade, and they've been saying this is going to happen. Follow them, invest in them, believe in them, and make sure that we are making sure that we all get to the other side of freedom.
That is a refrain I have heard over and over again, which is that there are groups like yours who have been preparing for this moment for a very long time. Dominique Morgan, thank you so much.